So what are the systems that you need to have in place in order to scale your commercial cleaning company up to $1 million and beyond? By the end of this video, you're gonna have a list of those systems that you can either check off as you have in your commercial cleaning company, or that you need to develop or further advance in your commercial cleaning company, or even add into it so that you can begin growing the way that you want to. If you don't know who I am, my name is Matt. I'm a 7-figure commercial cleaning CEO, and I do this to help you build your commercial cleaning company the same way that I built mine. And if you do want my help on the specifics of building systems like these, then check out the links down below. Okay, so first we need to understand what we mean by a system. All that a system is it's an organized set of interconnected parts or steps or elements that lead to a consistent outcome. Think of it, whenever you press the gas pedal in your car, it activates that system that then turns the wheels and the gas gets involved, and everything that gets involved with driving your car happens just from simply pressing that pedal. It doesn't take all this other thinking. It doesn't require you to understand how the car works. The system just works. And the same is true whenever you press the brake pedal, whenever you use any other functions of a car. And if you're in this place where growing your commercial cleaning company feels like an absolute grind, it is wearing you out, that means that there's some systems you could be missing, because a system removes the requirement for all that extra effort that fills in all of the gaps and all of those questions that need answered and all of these things that you have to know. A system just simply does it. And it may require you to take a certain step of actions and a certain order of actions, but it doesn't mean that you have to apply all this complex thinking to now run your company. Now, we also need to understand is that systems don't have to be anything complicated still. They don't need to be pieces of software, pieces of machinery. They can just simply be orders of action, things that we do in a specific order to get a consistent result. And in the commercial cleaning world, this is absolutely key to understand, because our business is so people focused. Our product that we sell is the results of people being in those facilities doing what they do. All right, without further ado, let's dive right into the systems that you need to have in place. And we're actually not going to start off with anything around growth. We're going to actually start off with the product or service itself. Because if we don't have something that is actually worth buying, then how easy is it going to be to sell it? So this category, we're going to go over production systems. And there's 3 main ones, and these are the ones that are required in order for you to get that output that you can sell to your clients to win more and more commercial cleaning contracts. And the first production system is going to be very obvious. It's going to be our actual cleaning system. What you need to define in your cleaning system is, first of all, the actual equipment that's going to be used. A very easy way to do this is to go to your local janitorial supplier and ask them to put together a commercial cleaning cart for you. That way it's consistent and they can make any recommendations for any changes based on your clients. But also, not only just the actual cleaning equipment, but you want to establish an actual order of tackling a building. You need to decide, are your teams going to work together when they're in a building? Are they going to work off of the same pieces of equipment or carts? Who's going to do what task while someone else is doing another task? While someone's doing floors, is someone doing restocking dispensers? Are they going to mix tasks? Is one person going to totally handle certain areas, or are they going to all segment out the tasks required to clean a facility? And then within the order of completing the cleaning for that facility, you just want to establish some basic steps for the cleaning, right? When you mop, be sure to dip the mop and then box yourself out, and then make sure you go with the grain, right? Whenever you're doing it. So just some basic steps for each of those tasks. So that's the first production system we need to have in place. The second production system is going to be, what is our process for getting everybody or our employees on board with adhering to those cleaning procedures? I recommend having training in 3 different ways that are all working together. First, you have some videos or documents that they review either on their time or at the office, or essentially before they really start the in the field training. And that's going to go over those procedures that you have going on with the cleaning. Then what you do is you have them come to your office, or if you don't have an office, they come to a main location where they're met at with a trainer or yourself or somebody on your team. And they're going to go through some training exercises, right? Maybe you do something like a scavenger hunt that builds edges and ledges awareness, hide some coins around the room or something like that. That way it gets them to think like an inspector when they're in an area, and they're going to carry that thinking into their cleaning. Then what you do is you actually have the extended part of the training, which is where they actually work on a team or on their own or however you decided to have your cleanings done, they're going to do that for a period of time. So maybe that's going to be, in ours, we do for about a week. And then at the end of that, they're going to go through some sort of test. They're going to clean an area. They're going to clean a small building on their own. They're going to do something, and that's where they're going to get signed off on as, okay, they're good to go to fully join the team. And you may have a different training process or system in mind, but that's an example of one. The third production system is going to be an accountability system. And this is actually a level up from what some people will call a verification system or process. So when you think of verifying things, that's like taking photos and submitting them. That's signing off task sheets with your name, showing that it was done, those kind of things. And it's more, whenever you do those things, it actually does more than just verify it. It actually makes them commit to this task was done. And that in turn guides their internal accountability to actually get the task done the way it's supposed to be done. So you can think of it like a verification system, but you're really trying to install accountability. So if you go about building your accountability system and realize that it's not being taken as seriously, then you need to make sure that they know that those things are being reviewed, which is the second part of that accountability system. There needs to be somebody that actually checks it, and the team needs to know that it's being checked. That's what makes it different than just simply a verification system. So once you have those three main production systems in place, now you actually have a product that's going to produce for your commercial cleaning clients. Now, the next system to make sure that you have in place or that's optimized is going to be two main onboarding systems. And all that onboarding is whenever you win a new commercial cleaning client, how do you integrate them into your service or install services into their facility? And the first onboarding system is simply a prep system. What processes are we going to do in our office to make sure that they're in our software properly, to make sure the right information and instructions are going to the cleaning staff? What about the accounting and the billing? Who's going to do what in that regards? So make sure you iron out all of that back-end piece to best support this next step that's going to be taken, which is going to be the actual system and process for the very first clean in that facility. This first clean is going to include things that typically aren't included with every other clean after, right? It's going to involve doing a more total job. So what areas are we going to touch? What are we not going to touch? What about how many people we send compared to the normal cleaning? I know that in our operation, it can take 2 to 3 times longer on the first clean than with the recurring cleanings after that. And also with this, you want to be sure that all the equipment is prepped and labeled. It's already ready and staged to be taken to that facility. Who's going to take it? And then what time are they going to arrive and get all of it ready for the crew? Or is the crew going to go with it and they're all going to bring the different pieces of new equipment with them and you're all going to work together in setting it up? And that's your actual first clean process and system that you want to establish and make sure that it's smooth so that you can launch clients one after another. Now, of course, you can add in other systems like what do you do after that first clean and what does the client follow-up process look like? But we're just going into the essentials here. Now we can get into our growth systems, which is our sales and our marketing. When it comes to these, you have so many different options, but specifically for your marketing systems, I encourage you to have just 3 main methods that you use to win clients. Now, this channel is full of different ideas. You can go check out the marketing videos on here. Also in the link in the description to give you a deep dive on every single marketing method you can use, plus the ones that I used to scale my commercial cleaning company to 7 figures. Now, ideally with your marketing, that's going to take as little time as possible. The whole idea of just sitting down and cold calling all day, that is something that I do not like to do. I didn't do it very long whenever I tried it. I used other systems that were a bit more automated, like optimizing Google Ads, like doing a lot on the internet, like doing some outbound stuff that we did in our market with the right people, bringing the right things, having the right conversations that generated a lot of leads. And all that you do is just rinse and repeat with that, focusing just on those main 3 funnels to your company, and you're going to grow. Where a lot of commercial cleaning owners go wrong is they might just try a couple things or even a lot of things, but they don't really commit to those tactics. They don't go deep and master them. So therefore, they don't hardly get much results. They got to follow up, they got to learn, they got to get better and better at the directions they've chosen. Now, the goal of the marketing is just to generate appointments. And that's where it really changes to a different system after the appointment has been requested or made. And that turns into the sales system. And the whole goal of the sales system is to convert those appointments into paying clients. So for your sales systems, you need a process like how to do a walkthrough, which there's a video on this channel about exactly how to do commercial cleaning walkthroughs. And then after those walkthroughs, you need a process for calculating your quote, which also there's a video on this channel about that. And of course, I teach you how to go more in depth on those if you want to, and the link's in the description. And then after you develop your proposal and you get your quote together, that's whenever we go into our presentation and we want to close the deal and win them over as a client. And so this is where you want to establish during that presentation, what do you present first? How do you go about presenting that proposal? Do you just email it over? Do you give them a call with it? Do you share any videos with it? Do you go in person? You want to establish that process and what's talked about so that you can stand out from the competition. And then within the growth systems, outside of all of the marketing and the actual sales that's going on, you need a special system that is just for how do I go about with following up with opportunities that maybe aren't ready yet, or ones that we did quote and didn't choose us. Because the truth is, every facility already typically has some sort of cleaning solution in place, whether it's their own staff or it's someone they've hired from the outside. And one day they're going to want to make a change. Management's going to change. They're going to try to make changes to the cleaning company, or maybe someone does a poor job and now the company is now interested in making a change. Either way, for whatever reason, they're going to come up at some point, and you want to stay in line, stay top of mind with them. And so all that you need is a basic follow-up pattern, whether that's you have automated systems that do it, or it's a mix of your involvement or a sales team's involvement. That way you don't get forgotten. Okay, so now you've got your actual product systems and your growth systems in place. So now you can grow, but we still need to have a business that runs. The next key system you need to have in place is going to be a staffing system. And what a staffing system is just your process for when you need people or whenever you need to replace somebody on your team, what do you do and when do you do it? Do you stay ahead of the curve and do you do interviews constantly? Do you only open up jobs whenever something does open up on your team? Do you do anything with multiple people at once with interviews, or do you just do one-on-one interviews, or do you do a mix? Where are you going to post your jobs? What's the post going to say? You want to line those out and have the communications in place in such a way where it optimizes your time as an owner or anyone that's managing it. I know I keep saying this, but that's really this is what we do is we install these kind of things. So in the links down below, there is an entire automated hiring system with what we do. But you can absolutely establish your own process for this. Just make sure that it's consistent communication all the way through what I like to call a funnel, really, for getting applicants into your company. Now, the other support system is going to be around your operations and your office side. So the scheduling, the tracking of any sort of issues and tasks that need to be taken care of in the facilities. It's really going to be what's going to allow you to be successful in supporting your team out there, that's going to make them successful at keeping your clients long term. This is where softwares like CleanSmarts, which is what I use, and if you use code CEO10, you get 10% off. That is the kind of thing that can really smooth out your entire operational process. It has been well worth the investment on our end. And then the last foundational system here that we need to have in place that so many people forget about is a client retention system. There are two different systems or processes that I see that you can quickly install into your commercial cleaning company that help you keep clients forever. The first one is a specific communications cadence. Are you going to be sending your clients reports, giving them transparency? Are they going to see these verification or accountability sheets? Are they going to get to interact with any staff? Or is there also going to be any sort of official meeting cadence as far as are they going to have a visit from you or someone on your team monthly, quarterly, annually, whatever it is, right? To stay engaged and stay on the same page. What you do is when you do onboard your clients is you want to plant that seed with them of this is what our meeting cadence looks like. This is what our communication cadence looks like. This is who to talk to based on certain issues. Or you can use something like CleanSmart's client portal. That's a really big seller for a lot of clients. And that way they know how best to connect with your company and really bring you in and how you can be integrated with them as a partner. And then the second client retention system is going to be somewhat like the whole verification accountability dynamic that we talked about. This is going to actually be a review capture process. And what that simply means is, how are you going to get positive reviews from clients? Or how are you going to earn positive reviews from clients if they currently don't have a positive experience? And what this does is, just think about it. If you leave a positive review for a product or a service or a company you've used in the past, and you share that with others publicly, and then something happened with that company that maybe was displeasing, maybe didn't go as well some other time or whatever it was, you're typically much more likely to be flexible with them and to work with them and to approach them in a cooperative way, as opposed to just writing them off immediately and going and finding another solution and firing them that day, right? if you leave a review, it develops what's called consistency bias. We also call it loyalty, but it's simply just if I have put my hand up of, I approve this specific service, software, whatever it is, or this product, then now my reputation is tied to that thing. And if I go back on that, that makes me look bad. So what you want to do is obviously get good reviews. That helps you grow your commercial cleaning company. But whenever a client leaves a review, it boosts their loyalty to you just by leaving a review. And that's why that communication cadence process is so important with your clients, so that you can implement your review process. Now, there are plenty of other systems you can put in place to scale your commercial cleaning company even faster to 7 figures and beyond, and to further automate and optimize profitability and cash flow and all these things. But these are the core systems that you need to have in place. They don't need to be complicated pieces of software. They can just be simple 1, 2, 3 steps. You just need to define each of these for your commercial cleaning company and how you want your staff to carry it out in your company. Again, if you want an entire blueprint on how to build a commercial cleaning company up to 7 figures and beyond, check out the links down below and you can get my help with that, and we install systems for you just like this. But if you are on a YouTube binge right now and you want to keep watching, please do. You heard me mention about there's plenty of marketing ideas out there that you can check out and use for your marketing systems. You can go right here and watch this video where I give you some key ones that have proven to be successful over the course of time, and that way you can continue growing your commercial cleaning business. Again, my name is Matt, your 7-figure commercial cleaning CEO. Thanks so much for watching. Until next time, keep building.